how more can somebody say there's selflessness in these sportsmen, but the fact that they've left their comfortable millionaire lives to go and fight for their country? And just want to ask you personally, would you leave the comfort of your million to go fight for your own country? We have seen a lot of high-profile Ukrainian sports people living their comfortable lives and join the army to defend the country. We have the current the other heavyweight champion,
Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko.
not Klitschko. No. The brothers are there fighting, but the current right now, the one who beat Joshua, what's his name? How have I forgotten his name?
Yeah, I'm also forgetting.
That guy. The name escapes me. Let me Google it.
Okay, we have two Ukrainian football players who died earlier this week. They were killed in battle. We have other players who have it's just that their clubs are holding on to them, that they want to fight. We have famous people, famous actors, movie stars, even models joining the army, and Alexander Usyk, who is the one I was talking about. Currently holds 2 titles, but is also in a bunker somewhere getting ready to fight. So this is just one of the things that I want to say to ask is how more can somebody say there's selflessness in these sportsmen, but the fact that they've left their comfortable millionaire lives to go and fight for their country? And just want to ask you personally, would you leave the comfort of your million to go fight for your own country if it was you? And how commendable, what do you think? Is it something that they could have run away and gone and waited it out, or is it worth it for sports to sacrifice some of its heroes right now in the defense of the country?
Wow. Since this war started, I had never taken time to give a thought in the way you asked that question. Would we give up, for example, our comfortable lives here to go fight in Kenya if, there was a situation in Kenya where we're being attacked by a foreign enemy? I think in the fog of war, when you're in a situation where your family members are in a war zone and they could potentially be killed, I see how people could, just flip, as human beings and decide, what, I need to go out there and fight. But I think with what's happening in Ukraine and from the reports that we're getting on media, there's a lot of patriotism that we can see, especially from their sportsmen and women. There's a lot of patriotism that we can see, and I think this was not expected from the Russian side. The way I look at it is people who are under the age of 35, in Ukraine, which is most of the people who are involved in a lot of these sports, be it boxing or be it soccer. People who are under the age of 35 did not live under the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. So these people, if you're under 35, you're either very young when the Soviet Union collapsed or you were not born. So they had no reason to hate Russia. But I think now there's a whole new generation of Ukrainians within this, 1 or 2 week war that has been created that hates the whole of Russia and that hates Vladimir Putin. And I think they are very motivated right now to go and fight, in as much as, the matchup is not a fair matchup. Russia has a much superior military to Ukraine. So I don't know this one, Mika. I really don't know what to say, and I really don't know what to think.
Mika, for me, I would say, based upon my life and the way that it's set now, I probably wouldn't do it. Not because I don't care about Kenya or, what would happen, but I think sometimes you have to, maybe you look at certain things. Maybe you have responsibilities or things that you would do. And, especially for us guys living out here, a lot of times you always hear the sentiment that you're better off being out there helping or reaching out to help us out there than you coming back here to assimilate and be part of society, which you would say that it's selfish for the people at home, who are like, apana, you go out there, go work. And if, vitu zikithoka hapa, us guys, we're jumping on a plane or we're trying to find our way out and we come to you, especially this time of elections. And I don't know if you guys have ever gotten those sorts of sentiments. So if I'm looking at it from that perspective, where I'm using the same measuring stick, then I would say, no, I wouldn't do it. But if I'm using the measuring stick of saying, okay, if nimepanga vitu na, of course, the ultimate with going to war is utakufa. So that means you wouldn't be there anymore. So come on, when Jipanga, for that, then, and you're ready for it, then go ahead and do it. And I think that it's, it's a tough one, but I get the sentiment and I get where these people are coming from. And a lot of times also the fact that celebrities and so on and so forth are coming out of their comfort zones and going to the front lines of war is to show Putin that, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter what our station in life is. We are still Ukrainians and we are fighting for our country, and we're going to come out and fight for our country and show the ridiculousness of this whole thing. And we need you to, quote unquote, stand down. We, kind of like the same thing with going after the oligarchs and trying to, push them going into poverty as a way of getting at Putin, who, by the way, do you know how much Putin is worth?
I've had different figures. People are saying he might be richer than Jeff Bezos.
Because we don't know what comes out of there, but the estimations are that he's worth $200 billion. $200 billion.
But you'll never know. Like he flaunts. What he flaunts.
Super yacht, zile super yacht ulikuwa naona, si yeye mwenyewe anazo.
But you see, the thing is, he flaunts, like the life of mtu wa kawaida. Wana flaunt life ya hustler. That's what he flaunts. He flaunts life ya hustler.
Ali, you went
he lives in like a small apartment. Yeah, he does.
You went to another area. No, but then kuna hao yako ile hao kubwa. Ile, the one that was, it's a mega mansion. It's huge. It's in the middle of nowhere. That house is out of this world. But I'm just saying, let me get back to my point. My point basically was like, for me, I would really have to rethink. And if I'm not being looked at as that, what is it called, provider, or ule mtu anaangaliwa kama, kusaidia or whatever, then yeah. Because then at that point, unafikiria, okay, nikienda na I'm going to fight for a cause that I believe in, and the ultimate being, you're not here anymore, and nobody is going to, they'll still be provided for after I'm gone. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, and everyone in Ukraine, between the age of 18 to 60 men.
Is it 60 or 65?
Men. I don't know if it's 60 or 65, but men are not being allowed to leave.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is that you also have others who are coming back to join the fight. So I think psychologically, militarily, of course, Russia is superior. But I think psychologically, this might be very disturbing to the Russian military, who I think expected to just walk in.
Yeah, to roll in.
Take over things, and maybe be greeted as heroes or and just have things moving.